Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Monday edition of the National Matters. And as you know that Pastor Victoria and I, by the special grace of God, we want to be national, to help somebody who is a Camnet TV viewer. But tonight, interestingly enough, I want to introduce my guest, but before I do, I want to let you know that he's not a new person. He is actually our son. My wife and I brought this gentleman up in the things of God. And I remember the first time that this born leader was in trouble. He was one of the leaders at Evelyn College. And had just gone to have a cup of tea with the late President Michael Chilufya Satame, so rest in peace, when he was Minister of Health. And story short, 4 young people walked in the office asking for mercy, and among the 4 was my guest tonight, who was my son, and his friend Derek Ngubai. So after what they did, I said, Honorable Sata, this young man and this friend, they're born for greatness because they were union leaders. He's been born a leader. And I said, for them to be expelled from Evelyn College, it's not good. You are going to lose the national leadership. And President Sata picks up the phone, phones the Minister of Higher Education, the lady Madam Kabunda Kayongo, and says, I've got 4 gentlemen here, and they are children to Pastor Chiluba. So please forgive them as a mother. And he spoke in his usual leadership's voice, and the rest is history. My son was pardoned with his friends as leaders of the Evelyn College. But today, as we shall get into this, you discover that destiny is not something that you can play with. In the studio tonight, I have Mr. Kelvin Sokoni Moyo. Welcome, Sandy, to the program.
I appreciate, Pastor. It's my honor and privilege, Dad, to be on this set and again to link up with you. From the time I met you to the date we've been so close. I appreciate it.
And you didn't tell the nation, are you married? Because I married you off to one young lady, Vamayoba Nalindiwe, and the 4 children that you have, blessings, my wife and I married you off. You have all these 4 children, and we are still waiting for the 8 to make it 12. Tell the nation, are you married? Have you divorced? What? Let the nation know.
That I must first say thank you to Mom and you, Dad, for the opportunity you gave me to be under you, to be coached under you. At the time I came to Evelyn College, when I was at Evelyn College, I came to church. We were meeting at Evelyn College then. I was actually almost a loss because we were involved in so many things, as you've already alluded to. Went into the union issues. I was one of the leaders, and apparently we were expelled at that particular time. And thank God for you. When I went into church that time, there was a song that was being sung. And that song, I still remember it. And there's always a way. And that song gave me the impetus. God will make a way where there's
no way.
No way.
That's right.
And when I explained my situation to you, you told me that, look, young man, I will try to talk to the Minister of Health, then the former President Sata. So on a Monday, you took us over to go to see him. It was a wonderful thing. He met us, and yes, he made a call. So that, from that time, my life has never been the same again.
Amen.
Because from that time, first of all, I knew God. I gave my life to Christ, and I told myself, I would not play politics. I would just do business. And that's how come I grew up.
And that was 1995?
1994. 1994. So at that time, I was very young. And yes, I got married. You and Mom married us. You counseled us. You coached us. And we got married under your tutorage. And today we have 4 kids. Lindiwe, Jabulani, Tando, and Sally. They have grown now. Our firstborn is 20 years. She's just finished her A-levels right now. So we are here, Dad. Thank you so much.
So do I look old? From the time you met me, I'm getting concerned. Am I looking so old?
That 1994 is a long way.
That's right.
And I think, may I in advance wish you a Father's Day. Amen. Which is coming next Sunday. That's right. Because you've been a father to me.
Amen.
You've been a spiritual father to me, and also even when I lost my dad, I've always been calling you, and you've been always giving me undivided attention and advice in everything that I do. Thank you again.
Because you are my son. Remember when I almost collapsed in South Africa, when I was there by the special grace of God. God used you to just run to your mother, buy the air ticket. The next morning she was on the plane in the morning and she found me in the hospital. And God has used you, Sani, and my daughter, and I'm so grateful for you and Linda.
Thank you.
But let's come to the issue. When you finished your Evelyn Hone College studies, you started working with Donovan, am I right? Take us through where you started from. And also, before we get into that, I must say that people will later know, but I better let you know that Sani here is one of the best human resources Zambia has produced. He's a guru in that area, and he will help you. Tonight, we will be blessed so much. How did your journey begin?
That after I was pardoned to go back to school. In fact, I was pardoned to go and write exams only. So I wrote exams out there. And after writing exams, I was one of the 9 that passed. We were 49 in class, and I was we were the only 9 that actually cleared our examinations. After that, I started working for ZRA. Yeah. Way back. First of all, I started on the 24th of December 1994 in human resource. So I worked for ZRA for 6 years, up to 2001, when I was poached by Honorable Waliachiti. Honorable Waliachiti was the chairman of Telecel, was owner/chairperson of Telecel. He was on the board of ZRA, so he came and said, I've seen how you are working. Can you work for me, help me manage the Telecel, now MTN? I agreed, and I was offered to work for Telecel as the head of HR, or HR director, and we worked so well until Telecel was bought off by MTN. At the time, I worked for MTN for 5 years. At the time I was leaving MTN, I was poached by a gentleman called Nigel Seabrook. He came, pastor. He called me to go for lunch. I didn't know why I was going there. He said it's business. So I went for lunch at Pamosi, sat there, and before long he produced keys for a Nissan Hardbody, new one. At that time it has just come out. And he told me, these are your keys. This car has just done 9 kilometers, and it's yours. And I said, why are you giving me this car? And he's a white man. He says, I'm giving you this car because I'm offering you a job at Donovan as our director of HR. Pastor, he told me that you are going to get kwacha and dollars. You're going to get to be paid in both kwacha and dollars. We've searched around, and we felt that you are the best person for the job. I didn't disagree, Pastor. I gave my notice. I went to work for Donovan Zambia, which I served very well. At the heat of 5 years, I received a call again from London this time. A lady calls me from London, tells me, we've been watching you for some time, we've been following you for 2 years, and we want to offer you a job. I said, and she was sounding like she's English. Which company is this? Then she tells me, I'm calling you from Barclays Bank, UK. And this is how Pastor, she told me, tomorrow we'll be talking to you with other people. The next day, I had everyone, the regional directors, from South Africa, from UK, from Dubai. They came interviewing me. And finally, I was given the job as Director HR at Barclays Bank. I worked for Barclays Bank from 2005 to 2011. At the time, I decided to leave Barclays so that I can actually start my own business. So I enjoyed my time at Barclays. I was sent to so many countries to go and work and to deal with different issues. I worked in South Africa, Botswana. I went to work in Tanzania, Kenya, and Ghana, and I also worked in Dubai. And also, partly, I worked in UK for a short while. So I was the HR person who was being sent from one country to the other to go and make changes. So if the company wanted to make changes in that country, they would send me to go and make the changes there. So basically, that's how my career was. After Barclays Bank in 2011, I decided that I can start my own company. And I started KSM Management Consultants, which is basically my names. That's Kelvin Sokuni Moyo, and which is an HR solutions provider. KSM grew from 2011 to a time where it was difficult, first of all, starting a company. But after 2 years, I started getting the same money I used to get at Barclays. And then I started another company called Fast Debt Managers. So KSM Management Consultants is really a recruitment firm. We do a lot of recruitment.
Before you go there,
yes,
I want people to get that. Before you go there, I am so grateful that you've gone that far. But for the sake of the young people there, they may think that you only have a diploma from Evelyn College.
Yeah.
I always, from the time you were young, you know that my wife and I have been firm believers.
That's right.
Of saying, go back to school.
That's right.
Get your education. I mean, there are no two ways about it. Where you are, you can work in Saudi Arabia. You can work in any Muslim country.
That's right.
But for me as a pastor, when I go there, you may find the tongue is in the briefcase for preaching Jesus. So tell us about your academic background, because somebody has got to be inspired as well.
So thank you, Pastor. So at Evelyn College, I got a diploma in human resource. Then I went to study. I studied with Princeton University in the USA. I did a bachelor's degree in business administration. Then I studied with Edith Cowan University, Australia, where I did my master's degree. And then because of the work that I've been doing, the UN conferred me with a doctorate. So I'm a doctorate in leadership and management.
You see, now that doctorate, you should give it to me. Okay, that is Sokone. Before he gets deep into this, like I've said, that he is my son. You know, when my wife and I established Camnet TV and we are looking for the news, we want to start the news. He was very busy in meetings. I called him. I said, Kelvin, come here, Sonny. We met at the car wash, and then we met here. And I said, I want you to start the Camnet TV news. Is it possible? He said, Dad, it's possible. I said, are you sure? He said, Dad, it's possible. I said, okay, you are into recruitment. You recruit the people. Let's hit the road and do. For 2 weeks, he abandoned his companies and he was directing the news, briefing the news reporters, and thank God, Sonny, the first vehicle we were using for the news and other assignments is from my son's company, And so you can see that we go a long way. It's my son, it's our son. So my wife and I call on him from time to time because of his competency. Let's go back to KSM.
So KSM, Pastor, is responsible. We do a lot of things there. So we are an HR solutions provider. We provide HR solutions helping different people. We run a recruitment agency. So we do a lot of recruitment for different companies. We recruit on their behalf different people. But also we have a portal where people that are looking for employment actually apply through. So we run what we call the recruiter, which you can download. It's an app which you can download. We also run www.gozambiajobs.co.zm, and also you can actually get to our website www.ksm.co.zm for recruitment. So we are the experts, and we are the biggest recruitment firm in the country. We also do training. We run a lot of public and in-house training for different companies. So we help upskill people. We help them to become better people in terms of raising their competencies to be better employees in the companies. But also we do HR consultancy. So we can come into a company and help look at your organization, create the policies, create the HR services, and help you run the HR department in a very efficient way. You know, the labor laws are more tighter now. You make a mistake in terminating a contract of an employee, you pay an arm and a leg. So, and you have to really follow the Employment Code Act. I was privileged, Pastor, the other 2015, I was part and parcel of the team that was working with the government to come up with the labor laws. I was one of the people that were being consulted. At the time, I was the vice president of the Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management. In the COVID period, like this time, we provide another service, which is HR outsourcing. So many companies are having problems in terms of managing people. And they're asking themselves, how do we manage these people? We don't know how to manage contracts and everything else. So we do what we call HR outsourcing. So in terms of HR outsourcing, our role is to ensure that we manage the manage the people. They become our employees, and we do the contracts. We pay them. The company just manages the people. Pastor, we have more than 1,000 employees right now who work for KSM. They work in the banks. They work in different places as well. So we manage HR outsourcing from that angle. But also, we do a lot of salary surveys. So what are salary surveys? We are the ones in our company who would tell you how much a salary, we compare salaries up in the industry. In different salaries, for example, you are a mechanic, would tell you the highest mechanic paid in Zambia and the lowest mechanic paid in Zambia. We'll tell you whatever salaries are there. So we deal with what we call the 90th percentile, 75th percentile, the 20th percentile. So we do the calculations there, and we will tell you exactly what the salaries are comparable to other companies. So if you wanted to know how much you should be paying your people, whether you're paying them high or low, our company provides that service to actually advise you on how they are being paid. We also do what is called payroll outsourcing. Payroll outsourcing, Pastor, is basically you have your own staff. Allow us to run your payroll. So we run your payroll from beginning to the end. So the inputs, the calculation, including paying ZRA, pay-as-you-earn, NAPSA, NEMA, and also producing pay slips for your employees. So you are free to concentrate on your core responsibilities, whilst we actually concentrate on running your payroll system. So we've got qualified people that actually just run payroll. That's their job. But also we do a lot of restructuring. In this time where we are living right now, companies are looking to right size. How do you terminate a contracts of so many employees? How do you come down? We come in to help you, to advise you in terms of how to restructure a company. So we've been doing a lot of restructuring. our pastor. We work with Minister of Labor in terms of engaging with them in terms of managing the staff, so that as we restructure, the staff don't remain, the people that were working in that company don't go out suffering, but at the same time, there are no lawsuits that come back to the company. So when you terminate a contract, you terminate completely. So we are experts in terms of advising companies in terms of how to actually do the restructuring.
May I ask, Sunny, I know you were part of developing these laws and everything. Do you have time to go to secretary to the cabinet? And because I know government fires a lot of people, unnecessarily or necessarily, they fire people.
That's right.
And sometimes they win a lot of cases. Those people win cases.
That's
and
right.
what, for the sake of preserving the little dollar or taxpayers' money, which we need as a nation, do you go to secretary to the cabinet or the PS and say, hold on, before you fire people, there is KSM?
We do collaborate. We work behind the scene. We work and we talk to different people, Pastor, in terms of soliciting that we can actually help out. And several times we've been consulted on many other issues, sometimes that deal with the nation. We work very closely with the Minister of Labor, the PS, Mr. Chandakazia. We were even talking over some matters the other a week ago, when we had some issues in the nation. We were consulting each other. And so, yes, we collaborate. And I'm a fellow of the Institute, Zambia Institute of Human Resource Management. Being a fellow, it means that we provide a service to the government in terms of providing consultancy or advice in matters to do with human resource management.
Sunny, there are a lot of cabinet viewers there, employees who have been mistreated. That I know. Because we get a lot of these phone calls. People are fired unnecessarily. I know you are not a lawyer, and I know that there are people that you can help at national level. Where are your offices? I know where they are, but the nation has to know where you are located, where you are found, apart from people going on Facebook, Facebook, internet, and all this. There are those of us who only know WhatsApp.
That's right.
So tell the nation, where are your offices? So
we are opposite Mulungushi Village in Kalundu. We are called KSM Management Consultants. When you reach Mulungushi Village, just a bit, you go a little bit to the east side on the right side.
If you are coming from the west,
when you are coming from Victoria Hospital, you actually go to the east. You are going to find us after Child Fund. There's KSM Management Consultants on the right. That's
just
where we are
50
found.
meters after the gate.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's where we are found, Pastor.
And can companies, individuals approach you?
Companies and individuals are free to actually approach us. We actually are open from Monday to Friday, and they can get our numbers on the website or any other number. I'll be providing a number at the end of the presentation, so that they can actually get in touch with us. Otherwise, we are available, Pastor. Like I said, we did not just we just don't work on KSM Management Consultants. We also run a company called Fast Debt Managers. It's a debt collection company. We manage debt. So we are the biggest debt collection company in the country. We manage up to 120 million debts as of today, meaning companies are giving us their debts and we manage them. So for companies that are there, we do what is called credit management. So credit management is where a company provides, just invoices the clients. Immediately they invoice the clients, the next day we take over. We start chasing after the payment on behalf of the company. And we collect that money between the 1st and the 30th day. And the company gets the money, we get a small percentage out of that. But if it goes beyond 31 days, it becomes debt collection. So we send our team who would actually go and send out demand letters to different companies and individuals to demand for the money. And thereafter, there's what we call debt recovery as one of our services. Pastor, on debt collection, we have our lawyers, internal lawyers. We've employed lawyers in our company who actually take matters all the way to court. If you cannot pay, they would work with you very well, and you cooperate. If you're cooperating, it's better than running away from them, because these are the channels. The lawyers can actually declare you bankrupt. They would file it in court, and you know, if you don't pay, then they'll declare you bankrupt. Otherwise, we also do what is called debt buying. We actually buy debt. So a company has debts, and they want to write off. Pastor, we've come against, from our company, we've come against companies, the accountants, they do what is called the writing off of debts, bad debts. We say don't write off those debts. What we've discovered on our side is that there's a lot of fraud that happens in terms of, in the name of bad debts. So here is a person, for example, working in a bank, gives you a loan, is a branch manager, he gets you get to, say, for example, 3 million, and he gets 1 million, you get maybe 2 million or whatever, and then the loan will be performing for a short while, and then he starts writing it as a bad debt. And then they write it off, and completely it goes. People steal like that. So we are saying, don't write off any debt until we tell you that this is a bad debt.
So who writes off the debt? Is it the company or an individual?
Pastor, so there's what is called IFRS under the accounting policy, which says that in accounting, if a debt is for X number of, say, 60 days or 90 days, that particular debt should not be considered as a debt because it's almost bad. So you write it off from the books, and you can actually write it off from your books, so you forget about it, technically. So we are saying don't forget about that debt. Let us tell you that this is actually a bad debt, because...
So I want to understand, Sunny. Don't you think that writing off a bad debt can create loopholes for maybe officials in the company to steal and get away with a lot of money?
And it has done that. So when we follow up on a bad debt, you find that stories will start. They'll tell you, no, this person, we can't find him. The person who got this invoice or this loan, we can't find. We have what a department, past experience department, is called a skip and trace department. We are using different sophisticated systems. You can disappear today, we'll find you. Our team, they are investigators, they go on the ground, they'll find you. So this issue of people running away, getting loans, and then they run away, and then they think that they will not be found, we now find them. We use very sophisticated systems. So our company is capable and able to do that under the fast debt managers, and we've been doing that for some time now.
Let's go back to my people, Sunny. A lot of Zambians have been mistreated far wrongly by the so-called investors, and my heart is for the Zambians who are underpaid.
That's right.
I went to a certain company, just stood outside with our church treasurer, Mr. Malupande, and these people were given 20 minutes in which to have lunch while standing by a Chinese boss. And you see what they get paid, you would shed tears, Sunny. What do you do for such? Do you help people who are low, downtrodden there? Does your company help?
Yes, we do. So, Pastor, the new Employment Code Act, number 3 of 2019, has established particular rules in terms of the minimum payments you can make to an employee and how that contracts must be arranged for employees. So, for the first time, now, the government has actually tried to uplift the the levels of payments due to employees. Number one, by ensuring that every employee who is on a long-term contract is sitting on a gratuity. And gratuity now has moved to 25% of the basic pay for each year served, meaning the government now wants to ensure that people are properly paid. And they also have, using the minimum wage, they've defined and prescribed minimum salaries for particular categories of people in different industries. And you are going to notice that this is an attempt by government to try to raise the amount of money that people would actually get in companies. So our role where we come in is that when we go to advise companies in terms of the conditions of service of the employees, our role is to advise them according to the laws of Zambia, that the companies and the owners of companies should not abrogate those particular policies, because there's stiffer punishment, Pastor, for abrogating the laws of Zambia. There's actually some serious penalty units that you pay, including imprisonment. Now, as an employer, you can be jailed for breaching the labor laws and be fined a lot of money. The Labor Commissioner now has got more power to actually come, and inspectors to come and inspect and then imprison you or even fine you huge amounts of money. So rather, companies must just voluntarily comply, and we help them to comply. So our role when we go to these companies, Pastor, is to help these companies to comply, make sure that the contracts are right, that they are paying the employees correct, and that they are treating employees also correct. So this is how we come up with these policies. But one of the things that we also do is to come up with what is called a whistleblowing policy, where employees would actually, if they are mistreated, they would actually find a way of alerting those in authority to actually know how they should be managed.
I like that. Will you give me one of the whistles?
Yes, we'll certainly do, Pastor.
You should leave 1 or 2 whistles with Camnet TV, because there are a lot of Zambians that are mistreated, I must say that. And sometimes the government is too big to monitor my salary, to monitor the way I'm being locked up in a certain building for 7 days, working, sleeping on the floor. Camnet TV has tried to uncover these things, we report them, but there is no employment. I mean, there is no follow-up and the action taken.
Yeah. Pastor, did you know that if you employ employees, 21 employees or above, they must, 25 employees and above, they must be unionized. So some employers are scared to say, no, I don't want a union. Unions are there not to fight with you, but to ensure that there's normacy and there's a channel within which employees can actually find a way of airing their grievances. So when we come into your company, if it is unionized, we help you with managing the union itself. There are rules and regulations that we put together according to Industrial Relations Act Cap 269, which regulates the management of the union. So as an employer, don't be scared to hear that there's a union that is coming in and to sign off a recognition agreement with you. By the way, you have no choice. The law has been made in such a way when the union comes in to say, we want to establish a union, the law says sign off. So however, we want to ask you, before you sign off with the union, please contact us, because the union is going to make you sign for things you're not supposed to sign for. And once you sign a recognition agreement, it is difficult to actually change it. So consult us, we'll advise you what should go into that recognition agreement, and then the smooth will help you with the smooth management of the union, including negotiating with the union. Pastor, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was negotiating with the Mine Workers Union on conditions of service for one of the companies that we represent and manage. And we just concluded that just quite recently.
I want to ask Sunny, given the situation where people are looking for employment,
that's right,
and there is high competition,
that's right,
what do you do for such people?
Pastor, I've got an advice to our colleagues. First of all, we are in a very difficult situation right now. So what has happened is that the pandemic and the economic situation is really not favorable to any company. And so what has been happening is that companies are shrinking.
I know.
Slowly. This has been 2 years, Pastor. So imagine that in these 2 years, companies were using, the business was not that good, and were using their reserves to pay out salaries. So as they are using their reserves to pay out salaries, their reserves are actually reducing. So companies have remained with no choice but now to do what? To terminate contracts of employment. And like I said, this is why we come in to help them to restructure. But the people that are going out, Pastor, are very qualified people, very experienced people, very competent people. And then I want to show you another picture. Here is a graduate who's just graduated and is not qualified, is not experienced, but is qualified. And there's a job that has been advertised. Both the qualified and experienced and the qualified, the graduate, apply. Who does the job go to? And the experienced people now would rather take, they would even accept a salary that is below that is being offered, because there are more people now in the street that are qualified and experienced than the people on the other side.
Yeah.
So this creates a serious problem for us right now. And jobs are difficult to actually get.
Is this a problem only for Zambia, or it's global?
It's a global problem, but particularly in Zambia is already a big problem. We've always, even if we had no COVID, our situation was bad in terms of unemployment levels. And so my advice to the people that are there, first of all, it's a tough one, but when you're applying for a job, first of all, make sure that your CV is good. We can help you write up your CV. People write a lot of wrong things on their CVs, Pastor. And they don't know what to write. They just cluster everything else. They get their job description, paste it there. Now, please write your CV in a manner that brings out your achievements. I worked for this company, and my achievements were A, B, C, D. I worked for this company, and that's what we ask. We always, whenever we are interviewing people, we ask for. We don't ask for how you as a team. We ask you as an individual. What did you as a person do? So we want to hear your I did ABCD, and if you go to that company, you find ABCD done. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So people make mistakes in their CVs. But also, people are not coached in the way they should do the interview. For example, the first question that we ask, tell us about yourself. That's a killer question, Pastor. Tell us about yourself. We are basically asking you to market yourself. And I don't know, maybe it's our demographic arrangement, the way we are as Zambians, we don't know how to sell ourselves. We don't really know. So you put our Asian friends, put him here, and put a Zambian here, put a Western, a Nigerian guy, put him, so ask the same question. You hear how they are going to. And I think that Zambians are more qualified, but if they could bring themselves out very well in terms of how to market themselves, they would actually do a much better job. Sometimes as interviewers, we feel pity. You see someone losing a job on the basis of not representing themselves well. So one of the things that we are doing, Pastor, is we are helping people with interview coaching skills. So you come in, we will coach you. We tell you how to handle yourself in an interview, how you dress, how you walk. That's why you see us sitting far away from the table. We want to see how you look. So your dress is very important. We've been, as recruiters, we've been taught to read body language. And it is said that the body speaks more than the mouth. So your body tells us more than what you speak. So we read you. When we ask you a question, it's a psychological question, and we ask the same question 3 times in different ways. So we ask you this way, and that way. If we want to check consistency in the way you are actually answering. So we will tell you whether you're lying or not. So in 10 minutes, we should be able to finalize the interview. So some people get worried. How come those people interviewed me for 10 minutes? It's because we've already read everything else. 10 minutes is actually a long time in an interview.
You know one thing I must commend you, Sonny?
Yes, Dad.
Being Ngoni,
Yes, Dad.
The Easterners, for the first time today, they are very happy. Those who are watching,
they are very happy.
I know they will say, you see, this is why the wise came from the East. For the first time, the Easterners are very happy. Now, Sani, tell me something.
Yes, Dad.
Should this COVID persist?
Yes.
Because the other time I was listening, Donald Trump created a lot of jobs.
That's right.
Now Biden has come. They are downsizing, and a lot of things is pushing more of the injection, I mean the vaccine and what. And Europe also, like you are saying, they are downsizing. And it's like technology is taking over.
That's right.
Some of the jobs that we were trained for or educated for.
That's right.
Are you saying that there could be something wrong with education, or we need to up the game and change the way we educate people?
We thank God for the education that we were given, but I agree with you, there's completely something wrong with our education. We need to change the way we train our people. We, as interviewers, we are shocked. The people we interview, they claim they know things. Give them a computer, type a letter, business letter. Faster is a sorry side. Give someone, do me a report. You were in my meeting with me, do me a simple report. It's very difficult. So people are being churned out of the university, but they don't know anything. And companies have to retrain. They
don't even know how to write the report.
That's where the problem is. So we train, we educate people for the paper, not for skills and knowledge. I would love to appeal to the nation that whenever we are training people, can we train them for skills? This is why. You notice that this person who works in a company for some time is used to working in these aircon offices and all. When the job finishes, you'll find him with a paper in the town center, not knowing what to do. He's not street savvy. He can't do anything. It's because he was just trained for one thing and that thing only. I would love to appeal that given the same situation that we are looking at, what do you think is going on in the boardrooms? By the way, I'm a member of a number of boards. I sit on the Satunya Regional Board, Pension Board. I'm the chairman of the Nominations Committee of the Pension Board. I'm the chairman of another board called the RISM. It's an audit firm. I'm a member of the ZICAS board, the HR and compliance board at ZICAS. So at different boards as you sit, you ask yourself a question. What do you think goes on in the boardroom right now when the leaders sit? The situation is that bad, Pastor, that now every company is discussing people. What's our strategy for people? How are we going to manage this company? If you are an employee, you're working for a company, my advice is that you have to have more than one skill, because companies are asking to recruit one person who can do several things, a multi-skilled person. That's what they're looking for. If you are just one person, just doing one thing only, your future is not going to get anywhere else. For example, you talked about the computers are coming in with, the technology that's coming. It's called analytics. Artificial analysis. That has come in the accounting field, for example. In the accounting field, for example, you actually can feed information. The system would actually do all the books, trial balance, balance sheet, and do everything else.
Without an accountant.
Without to do that, your job is just to check that things are balanced. So now the future for certain jobs is being questioned. And as a country, we need to really recognize the different jobs that needs to be, trained. People must be trained in and give them a skill. Don't give them a paper, give them a skill, so that when they come to work in the company, they are very well backed. For example, simple Excel. Pastor, you tell someone, do just simple Excel. It's a big problem, but this person is a graduate. So education is good. Thank you for education, but I think we need to rethink education in this country. How we train our children, how we upskill our children, and also the mindset of how to work as an employee in a company. do not be an employee who just wants to do one thing. And be available to your employer. If you want to be promoted and want to be recognized, be available. Spend a bit of time. Come early for work and work late. And make sure you meet your targets. Employment has changed, Pastor. The Minister of Labour has now come up with a productivity analysis department. They're about to produce that report soon. That productivity is basically talking about performance management, where an employee should be actually managed in terms of performance and be paid according to what they have actually put
the
in.
output, yeah.
If they don't perform, this is one way you can terminate an employee's contract, by them not performing. So you better be a person that is performing. This country is changing. And if you want to maintain that particular position in your company, you must show for it. You must work hard. And you have to know things. And a lot of people are crying. Pastor, because I'm a consultant, HR consultant, I'm being called in different companies to go and see how best we can terminate contracts of employment for people. And we ask, what's the problem? The person is not performing. He doesn't know even how to report. And I would also want to slice in and say, you should know how to manage your bosses. They supervise you, manage your bosses. Pastor, here is a person. I want to ask you a question. Who normally remains behind in the office? Is it the subordinate or the boss?
Now, that question, for Camnet TV, like my wife as MD,
that's right.
She may not necessarily be in the office, but she's always there, and we are always there.
So ideally, Pastor, the boss gives you a report, do me a report. The tendency that we have been seeing here in Zambia is that an employee would, a subordinate would do the report and gives the boss his 16 hours. He's late. He was told, give me at 9 hours. He was delaying until 16 hours. He gives the boss the report. The boss is busy, is working. The gentleman says, oh, boss, I have to dash to catch traffic. He goes. The boss opens the report. It's a shell. There's nothing. So the boss remains behind, finishing up the report. And this has been happening for a long time. That subordinates actually, they
take off.
They actually give the boss to finish up the job. Meaning, we do not get quality work done by our subordinates, such that when you receive the report, you just read, change here and there only, and forward to your bosses as well. So, it's a quality of employment that people that we have, and it stems from education and even the way we train people at our working places. This is why, if you attended our training, we are actually quite effective in trying to change the skills of people to give them hands-on experience in terms of how to work and manage a company.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, Dad.
How do you deal with the over-familiar workers with their bosses and what, that you fail to put the difference that this is my boss? How do you deal with that?
Okay, so two things. Number one, he who has God makes the rules. This is true even in an employment situation. Employers make mistakes by paying salaries of his boss almost the same as that of a subordinate. And I've noticed that in companies where the salary of a subordinate and that of a boss are almost close to each other, there's no respect. The subordinate does not respect the supervisor. So that's what we call grade parity, salary grade parity. The difference between the lower salary and the higher salary. There must be a difference here, because this difference also defines leadership, and it defines who is boss and who is not. So the first thing that we do is to look at your salary grading and ensure that there's a marked difference between the supervisor and the supervised or subordinate. Because money and you can give you authority, yes, but people will not respect you for that authority. This is the money first. And then we put rules together. In fact, in one of the companies, we had even a relationship policy where we stopped people who, if you brought in your relatives, sometimes you work in a big company, you're working with so many people, you don't know that actually this one is connected to that one, is connected to that one. For example, in a bank, Pastor, it's dangerous to have relatives who are not declared in a bank. Why? It's because payments have got a line. I check, someone approves, then you are finally approved. If I have the originator as my relative, fraud can happen. So we need, yes, so we need to know, and you need to declare relationships in a bank. Because in case you're in a cartel, you actually move money like that. So you need to do that. So what we do is we come up with policies that define the relationship in a company. That also includes the disciplinary and grievance procedures that we put in terms of removing familiarity and also insubordination, insubordinate behavior by employees. So we now designate properly in terms of if a person behaves in this particular manner, what are the penalties? So we come up with all those conditions of service for the company.
My goodness. Sokoni, we'll continue, Sani, but let my director give your company phone number.
That's right.
Give your company phone number, and I want my director to just impose it there, so that people can call you, especially those of you from Eastern Province. Don't get excited and familiar because you have my son from there. You start calling right now. But we need to help the nation.
That's
you
right.
see, the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And Camnet TV, thank God for my wife and the team that we have.
That's right.
We are trying to offload things that can benefit the nation, just like you have come.
That's right.
My wife and I can do consultancy, HR, about how to employ somebody, but you are there. And as my son, I would like people to call you at your workplace and be able to say, here, I'm being victimized by Guangzhou.
All right, so our numbers, you can get in touch with us on 0966 75 0071. That is 0966 75 0071, or send us an email at info@ksm.co.zm.
Keep that, Mr. Director, for a while. There are people who are slow to copy, and that is KSM Group 0966 75 0071, info@ksm.co.zm. Thank you. Now, you're talking about, Sani, thank you, Mr. Director. You are talking about employment.
That's right.
Being hard to find.
That's right.
And that companies are downsizing. You also have a recruitment company. You
That's
recruit.
Right. Yes.
Where difficulties, I mean, jobs are difficult to find.
That's right.
But you recruit.
That's
How
right.
is that so?
Pastor, we are a channel through which companies are actually employing. It's a platform that we actually have provided. You know, sometimes people tell you that for you to get a job, you have to get to know someone. At our company, you don't even have to know me. You just have to send your CV. And our recruiters, we've got a number of recruiters who are just going to process you, analyze your CV, and match it to the job that companies have given us. So because of the trust in terms of the successful recruitments that we've done, we've recruited, Pastor, we are recruiting for CEOs, both in government institutions and private institutions. We're recruiting for directors, for managers, and all other jobs. So the only thing that people have to do is to have their CVs on our platform, and then we can actually, our recruiters will go behind there and help them get a job. My heart goes out there for people that are genuinely looking for employment, and they've been looking for employment for a very long time, and they don't know where to go to. Like I said earlier on, try our side. And I was interviewing someone 2 days ago. I sent my CV 2 days ago. I thought you never call me. I'm surprised I'm here. I said, yeah, we actually recruit. So we want to help our our company wants to help individuals find jobs. But also, if you are a recruiter there, you are a company, and you are worried about recruitment, we are experts. We can recruit for you. We do the right things. We actually do an analysis. When we recruit the people, we do background checks as well. So people sometimes lie about themselves.
I've heard, and this is common in some government institutions.
That's right.
And some companies where I say, okay, Mr. Sokoni, I'll look for a job for you, but for the next 5 months, you'll be paying me 20% of your salary. Such things go on. Are your fees affordable? Can people afford, or you say for the next 1 year you'll be paying KSM?
If anyone tells you that, report them to Minister of Labor. There's a law in place. First of all, to be a recruiter, you must be registered with the Minister of Labor. Our company is registered. There's a certificate that they give us. Minister of Labor gives us a certificate to operate as a recruitment firm. So there are a lot of people that are liars out there. They will tell you, give us this amount for you to get recruited. Never allow yourself to pay a lot of money for recruitment. In fact, I must inform you that we do not charge the employees for getting a job. We charge the employer. So if there's someone else telling you to pay this amount for him to find you a job, please run away. They're just crooks.
I should have heard that information, Sani, about six months ago. You can imagine how crime has gone. Here's a gentleman who, not a gentleman, a crook, who watches Camnet TV. In fact, 2 of them. We've been victims. One from southern province, he just said, you know, Camnet is a blessing. I want to donate this Pajero and send me this photos, send me this. We kept on sending and trusting. This is a genuine guy, 2 of them. The rest is history, Sani. I've not seen that one. The other one, just 6 months ago, no, Pastor Chuluba, you are a blessing to this nation. I want to help recruit people. I work for Zesco. And he got the names. Before long, he starts charging them 1,200, you know, to go for interviews. And unfortunately, our men, out of desperation, they paid a lot of money. And my wife, the board, and I just sat and said, let's bring this money back. So we paid them back. Can you imagine where somebody is watching Camnet TV with a polluted mind to invite people to say, I'll find you a job in Zesco. This is my number.
Please do not pay money. It's an offense, actually. Do not pay money to someone to find you a job. At KSM, you as a candidate, you don't pay anything. You just give us your CV. Our job is to analyze your CV and then present it to the employers. And if the employers like you, then we interview you and we don't ask you to pay anything. If anything, in the Employment Code Act, Pastor, the employee is only supposed to pay 5% of their first salary to the recruiting agency. That's the only money after you've been recruited, not before. After you have been recruited, that's 5%. And that's what we charge. So if anyone is asking you to pay money for anything,
before you are even interviewed,
before you are even interviewed, before you are even called for interview, don't pay anything. Please check with the Minister of Labor, the genuine registered companies. We are very few of us who have been registered with the Minister of Labor. And please come to genuine companies that can help you. Don't serve out of desperation. I know, Pastor, people have lost a lot of money. How does it feel, even you who's getting money from these people? These people are desperate. They don't have money. They only money for their children. That's what they bring to you, thinking that you're good. How does it feel to you? How does your heart, face God like that? So it's not right. A person who steals from someone who is desperate, Pastor, is not the right person.
But those are used to killing people, Sani.
Yeah.
They are murderers. How can you just go and say, I'll employ you, and you get the money, you change the phone number? And the worst part of it, like in this case, Sani, we even reported it to the police. And they said, no, Pastor, we are following up this, we are following up
That's
this. And
in fact, I'll be moving a motion with the Minister of Labor right now, Pastor, because of this rampant, because of Facebook, social media, people are posting anything else in terms of recruitment. I'll be moving a motion with the Minister of Labor to see if they can publicize the names of registered companies to recruit, allowable companies that can recruit. Not every Jim and Jack should be jumping on the podium who are not qualified, experienced, and do not answer to anyone to do the recruitment. So we have got wrong people that are doing this job, and they've been swindling people out of their hard-earned income.
may I ask this question, Sokoni? Here is somebody in the States, there are Camnet TV viewers
That's right.
who are watching in the States and Europe, around the world.
That's
and we are getting feedback a lot. If someone wants to come back, they know that if I go back to Zambia, here, though life is difficult, I get money, about $2,000, I pay for my flat, take home.
That's right.
At least I have $600.
That's right.
If you convert that $600 to today's kwacha, you find that somebody is failing to come here to work. The
That's
question is there anything that you are putting in place as recruiters or as a nation to try and source the experience and the expertise of the Zambians who are in the diaspora?
Yes, Dad. First of all, if you are a colleague that is outside there, Zambia is a very wealthy country. It's a good country. God has given us this country for you and I to actually work in. It requires the competences and skills of people that are actually out there. Even if you are far out in the, in the diaspora, for example, we can actually interview you wherever you are via these Zoom and so on and so forth, and we can actually bring you back to Zambia. We need skills. In Zambia, we need skills. We need people who are qualified, who are experienced. And beyond qualification and experience, Pastor, there's something very important in what we call exposure. People who are exposed, Pastor, can do greater things because they've seen it before, they've seen the world there, and they can easily replicate it down here. So if someone is out there and they've seen it better, please, they should actually come here in this country. We need their services. And many companies actually are looking to recruit a lot of experienced people. There are certain skills that we look and we can't find. But there are Zambians that are outside there, and we end up sometimes, employing foreign nationals in those particular positions because 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, we are looking for a particular job and we can't find. There's one time in the bank, for this particular bank, we were looking for a risk, someone who's qualified in risk management. We couldn't find. We couldn't find. We looked for this because they described the competencies of that person. We couldn't actually find the right person until we got someone from outside the country. And you see the work permit issues, we had to now justify why we couldn't get a Zambian. And we employed someone from outside. We shouldn't have done that because we've got our own people outside there.
Apart from you recruiting the people and giving them jobs, Mr. Sokoni, a white-collar job is very good.
Yes, Dad.
But like you, somebody would have envied you, and you took up that position as a human resource director for Barclays as a young person.
That's right.
Now I can see when the board head is developing. But that time you were a young person.
I was 26 years old.
You were 26 years old.
That's
now,
right.
Somebody would love to join the bank.
That's right.
But what you are getting now, using your brains and using the labor of your hands, is more than what you were getting there. Would you love to go and take up the same position as human resource director? No,
Dad. I actually, I was a director of one company called Barclays at that time. Now I'm a director of 10 companies. I'm HR director. So I sit in my office, I manage different companies as director HR. So a lot of companies I manage. But allow me, Dad, to say something here regarding education versus work. So a lot of us have been, this education system, the way I see it, is that we have been educated to become employees.
To become employees.
And that's where the danger is. We are being educated to become employees. In our education curricula, Dad, entrepreneurship is missing. I want to ask a question. When you take our children to pre-grades, the first grade, you know, before reception grade, they would go with these white children and in the same class, and they are all excited. And when they go to grade 1, I want to ask the question, where do those young people go, the white children? Why don't they go to our primary schools? And when you go to secondary schools, they are missing. And when you go to university, completely nothing.
They are not
Where
there.
are the white people who we go with to the reception? And they're missing in at primary, they're missing in
secondary,
and they're missing at
university.
Even when we had the university, one University of Zambia here, how many whites were at university? So meaning there's something that is happening here. As far as I'm concerned, our education system has been made for us to become employees, which I'm completely against. We need to start teaching our children entrepreneurial skills. This is why it is dangerous, Dad, for you to see what's the wrong thing that happens. So you work for 55 years or 65 years now, you retire, and that's when you want to start doing business. Doing business is not easy. When I stopped my job at Barclays, it took me about 3 years to really understand how to run a business. Even if I was qualified, it took me 3 years to really understand how to run a business. So imagine someone has just retired and he's got money like that, and you want to start business at that late time, you are going to actually go down. So this country must start entrepreneurship at a very young age.
Do you coach people into that? Because I know you recruit people and all this, but do you coach people on how to run your own businesses?
Yes, Dad. Actually, we run a lot of training programs, how to start up a new company, how to be an effective entrepreneur, because we've learned it. We've gone, the money I had, Pastor, when I was starting the company finished. I went to zero. And I had to start building the company like that. And sometimes don't base your company on the basis of, I've got friends that are going to support me. Friends sometimes don't come to support you. Somehow it's crazy out there. So you have to actually learn the ethics of business. And many people, and because this is missing in our curriculum, Dad, many people waste their money, it goes on the ground. And they don't make even profits. And it's a sorry sight. So you who is out there, right now, even if you're working right now, I would ask you to start a side business. Because after your work will come to an end soon. And it may come to an end not because you've done something wrong, but because circumstances have happened, Pastor. People lose jobs. And what I've discovered is that brilliant people, excellent people are out there in the street. I'm telling you, brilliant people, meet him on the street, he will tell you everything. But the skills they don't have. They are so used they've been trained just to be in the aircon office, to just push paper and everything else. But having a competence, a skill that you should do beyond your employment is something that we've not been trained for. So if I have to rewrite our curriculum, Dad, I would make sure that from grade 5, maybe grade 3, grade 5 especially, I start training people entrepreneurship. And there's a big problem that we create, that many people today are not doing, they've not studied their careers. They've studied the careers of their mother, their father, their dad. You parents, stop telling children what they should study.
Come on now.
Allow the children to decide for themselves what they want to study. If it's music, allow him to do the music. This forcing people to do things that they don't want, Pastor, has caused this nation the quality of skills. And we've looked down on people who want to do artwork. For example, doing music, doing DJing or whatever. Allow them to do that and study and grow. You know what? When we go to, if someone studied accounting and give them the job of accounting, they are not interested. Because there comes a time when you are working that, when you can't wake up from that bed, because you feel so bad, you don't want to wake up, you don't want to go for work. But if it is your desire, if it's something that God gave you to, you work for that, on that job, not because of money, but because it's something that you enjoy doing. It's your passion. So allow your children to actually go for their passion. Not because it sounds good. Economics and finance, it sounds good. Lawyer. If the child is not made up for that and they are not passionate for it, they'll study, they'll give you the paper, but they will not pursue it. And these are the people that are struggling in companies today.
We had one student in our intake, Sani, at Bible College. This young man was an A-grade student, 1984.
That's right.
1982. You can imagine, in those days, somebody to hammer 6 points.
Wow.
He goes to University of Zambia. But because he was called to be a preacher, he came back to college.
To college.
Yeah, to study with us. But the uncle, who was an academician, decided to force the boy to go to university. He was just with us, I think, the first year. And the uncle wanted to sue our principal and have him deported because he was keeping somebody. The school said, hey, leave. He went to university, passed as an engineer, flying colors.
That's right.
Again with distinctions. When he got that degree, he took it to the uncle. He said, the uncle, here's a degree. I've got it for you. Now I'm going to Bible college. You know, he's a preacher in the States.
You see, and this person has been happening for a long time. And this nation has actually been creating a wrong thing altogether by forcing our children to decide the career that we think is important for them. You can, yes, you can influence them, you can give them different things, but let them make the ultimate decision. These children are children of God. God has given them a vision and a passion. God himself knows exactly what they need to actually do. So allow them, encourage them in their area of interest.
You've noticed, Sani, that your mother and I, Pastor Victoria and I, for the past 2 years now, we've been pushing agriculture.
That's right, Dad.
I never knew the money involved in agriculture.
That's right.
And that doesn't require a lot of skill. It just requires passion, like you said.
That's right.
You have passion to say, I'm going to be growing cucumbers.
That's it.
Before you start growing cucumbers, go to somebody who is an expert. And this is where we go wrong.
That's right.
You just go and buy cucumbers, and they are not growing.
That's right.
Go to the expert. Here you are, KSM Consultancy. If somebody wants to do something, they want to terminate an employee, they want to do this, they come to you.
That's right.
So that they don't make mistakes.
That's right.
Now farming, I think just because we can put maize in the ground, we think that's farming, and this is where we go wrong.
And I want to say, by the way, your grandson, Jabulani, he's already told me he wants to do agriculture.
Really?
So he's taken subjects that are agriculture-oriented and he's doing very fine. And as parents, we've said, my son, go ahead, do agriculture. That agriculture is a big thing in this country. And it's a pity that we have not trained our farmers in a way that they can become entrepreneurs in agriculture. We need to rethink this whole thing about agriculture, where we train our farmers, our people, in terms of becoming proper entrepreneurs in the area of agriculture. They should, and some of them have gotten it, but they should know how to change the variety of seeds and to make money out of it. Because people that are involved in agriculture that make a lot of money, if you know how to go into it properly. Agriculture, you can't go wrong. And every one of us, the Zambia has got too much land. Every one of us should have actually a piece of land. I have a small piece myself, just down here in Chongwe, and I did a bit of soya beans. So everyone must actually do agriculture, Dad. I like your passion about agriculture, and I'd love to really learn that particular space.
But by Jabulani,
that's right,
a big land,
that's
the
right.
one you have, you and your wife, that's you, because you've got these companies.
That's right.
But for my grandson Jabu, buy him a 500 hectares.
That's right.
And let him, once he finishes,
yes,
let him put his training into the ground.
That's right.
Professor biologist Kamwenesha says, dongo ni mali. Soil is money.
That's right.
When you have money, this afternoon, I was with my son-in-law, Mr. Mushota.
Yes.
We went to buy some seeds.
That's right.
And I was standing like this, and I see somebody coming to stand next to me.
That's right.
I thought he was also buying some seeds there. He's not talking. And as they were packing these things, and then he says, Pastor Chilwa, I'm a Camnet TV viewer.
That's right.
I never miss any program. I'm sure he's watching as we talk right now.
That's right.
Because at 16 hours we were together. And he says, you have changed my mind. You have transformed. I never knew.
That's right.
I could go into this and have a lot of money.
That's right.
Now you can imagine people's lives are being transformed, making money, and others still want to be cadres, chopping people's ears.
There's no need to be fighting over politics. I think if we could fight on growing products and goods, that would take Zambia forward. This country is an agriculture country.
Oh.
It's our land is fertile, our trees are good, and we can actually do a lot. So each one of us, those that would go into farming, do that. I'm also thinking of coming up with a piggery. Pastor, if you can see the price of a pig right now, selling a pig is high. Raising pigs is one of the big businesses that we should have. I run one of the companies that I ran Shaka's Grill, the restaurant in Roma.
The Shaka's Grill, that's a beautiful restaurant, yeah.
Yes. So we buy pork for ribs. One of the things that we do are ribs. It's people that are selling pork, actually pork meat. They actually make a lot of money. The price has just skyrocketed. So farming, you never really go wrong. You actually are doing the right thing. So I would encourage someone there, if you're working, at least start farming.
Sunny, we have a conference on the 1st of October.
That's right.
You should be there.
I should be there, definitely.
With your wife, and I want Jabulani to come and listen.
Indeed.
The people that are flying in, and today I was speaking to one, is coming all the way.
That's right.
From overseas as one of the speakers. Sunny, you can't go wrong. You sit under these people from the conference. You can go looking at your neighbor's plot and say, I want to buy it.
So that I can farm on it.
So that I can.
I must commend you for the initiative that that you've taken in terms of empowering Zambians in agriculture and in opening our eyes. I've sat under you for a very long time. I've got books and books of your sermons. And when you were talking about prosperity, how that God has got a promise upon our lives, and the promises are yes and amen. And you see, it just takes the first step. A person making a decision that, yes, I'm going to attend that workshop, and I'm going to sit, and I'm told it's just 750, the one in October, per day. So 700, what is 750 if it's going to give you a future?
And if you attend for 2 days, it's just 1,500. Because this time, on Friday, there will be different speakers.
That's right.
On Saturday, there will be different speakers.
That's right.
But there are 2 key speakers who are flying in, who will be speaking on this day and this day.
That's right.
But the other speakers, Sani, you need to listen to them.
Dad, I'm definitely coming.
You can resign, and you know God has blessed you with the brains. God
That's
has
right.
blessed you with everything that you touch, Sani, succeeds.
God. We
Look
thank
at
God.
the Cabinet News you started.
We thank God.
Huh?
Dad. It's a success, and we are so grateful to God, and it's still going strong. The viewership has grown, Dad.
My goodness.
I was just looking at the viewership of Camnet.
Yeah.
I said, wow. You know, when that time when we were running the news, and we're thankful for DSTV, who actually supported us through and believed in us. Remember, we were busy here running the news, and DSTV believed in us when we said we are going to raise the news profile. And hey, I was just checking, the news is gone way big.
Outside the country.
So we are so
Everywhere.
grateful. We are so grateful to God. I'm very grateful to be associated with Camnet, with Healing Word, but also to be associated with you, Dad.
Absolutely. You are my son.
Thank you.
But we'll come back, Sani. We talk about something, because there is no money in the economy.
That's right.
And I've always said to the people that what we need in this nation is just mindset.
Yes.
Other people will think changing the government is the solution, keeping the government is the solution, doing this is the solution.
That's right.
But if your mind is not set for success,
That's right.
if you don't understand, Sani, that you were born for greatness, it's gone.
Dad,
It's gone.
I want to remind you of a verse that you always bring out, and this is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. The race is not to the swift, not
The
great
battle
to
is
the
not
wise.
for the strong.
That's right.
Bread is not for wise and all this.
But time and
And
chance
chance.
happen to them all.
My goodness.
This verse, I was running with it from the time you've been preaching it, and I said, listen, I also have an equal chance to make it.
Absolutely.
The race is not to the swift,
Absolutely.
but God has given me that chance. I can run this race. I can do it. And you know, what I've learned also is that people are scared to take risks.
Yeah.
We need to know how to make decisions and take a risk. And there's nothing that you are going to achieve without taking a risk. We need to train ourselves to take a risk. Make that decision that moves your timing. You don't know whether it's going to work or it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
For example, someone can take a risk. I'm going to attend this workshop. I would like it or not. Whether you have money, you find the money and go there. And I found out that where your passion is and you push, God opens the door.
Absolutely.
And when you climb the mountain, you're on top of the mountain, you'll notice that there are actually other mountains to climb. And so we should train ourselves to take a risk. I took a risk to open up a number of companies. I must tell you that we've got about 8 companies now in different areas. And the risk...
And they are doing very well.
They're doing very fine. Even in the COVID area, the government has given us to pay people half. They've written to say you can pay people half salaries. There's a guidance from government. During the COVID time, especially in the hospitality area, you can pay people half salaries. We don't pay people half salaries. We pay them full salaries and on time. So meaning there's something that we're doing right. And God can see you through even in this particular situation.
But I like what you said, Sani, and I wish Zambia could listen to this, apart from agriculture. Your friend, Meshach,
yes, he's in South Africa now.
Yes, he's in South Africa. At the time he came to church, it was almost the same time with you.
Yes, Shalom
Yeah,
Bassas.
but the young man says, Daddy, me, I like making money.
Yes.
I'm not, because he's skilled.
That's right.
Look at the minibus he got from Mr. Monsanda there, Tokyo Overseas.
That's right.
1 minibus, 2 minibuses, Toyota Hiace.
Yes.
And when they were 4, Bote Corolla started supervising the friends.
Yeah.
But today, when I'm going to Copperbelt, I'm going to Livingstone, I see Shalom buses.
Buses, yes.
And I say, this is awesome. Because that boy came in church when he was 13 and a half years.
That's right. That's
Together
right.
with you, you were just young boys.
Indeed.
But look where you are. God gives you this. You become human resource director, Barclays. But you didn't want to retire there.
No.
You go back now, you have 8 companies.
That's
and
right.
This is what I've been pushing to the people of Zambia, that you were born for greatness.
Amen.
And God will bless the labor of our hands.
Amen. And the Bible says, knock, Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, knock, the door shall be opened, seek and you shall find.
Oh.
He who knocks, the door opens. He who seeks, he shall find.
And I like it in the original text, Sonny.
That's right.
When it says knock,
Yes.
and the door shall open.
Amen.
In the original text of that, it says knock, and keep on knocking until the door is
Amen.
opened.
Take a risk.
Yes.
If God has given you the passion to do something,
Yeah.
go for it. You know, when I was starting this company, I was told, there's no money in human resource. There's no money. Don't even go there. And I found people that were doing consultancy. I came in, and Pastor, God being God, we changed the narrative. We are completely different. We are the biggest human resource company in the country right now.
Now, can you imagine?
That's right.
We'll come to this, Sunny. I want my director to give us, we'll go on a short break so that people may see about this coming conference. 1st of October, 2nd of October. Don't miss this conference for anything. You have attended our conferences in the past and your minds have been transformed. I'm not going to preempt what we have prepared for this conference. It will be the conference at national level and international level. You must make it. And in the meantime, you've seen one of my sons, Born for Greatness, in the studio, and we'll keep pushing this. Let's take a break by getting this advert.
Zambia has embarked on an economic journey for individual financial emancipation, empowering its citizens through land acquisition and developing the nation through agriculture. This time, Zambians are coming together, taking it upon themselves with the help of government to develop this great nation by taking individual responsibility and ownership of this great nation. The economic revolution has started. There are thousands of Zambians with a can-do mindset who are resolute, unstoppable, full of confidence and conviction that Zambia's set time of favor for development is now. Don't be left out. This could be the time you have been waiting for. Camnet Television, in conjunction with the United AgriVision Consultancy Limited, will be hosting a national conference on becoming a millionaire through agriculture. Date 1st October and 2nd October 2021. Charges 750 kwacha per person per day, that includes lunch. A limited number of participants through Zoom have also been reserved. You can also be part of the conference from the comfort of your home by registering online via Zoom, joining the people who were born for greatness. Charges for participation via Zoom are only 300 kwacha per person. Time 0730 hours to 17 hours. Registration and confirmation of attendance will take place on the 29th of September 2021. Time 14 hours to 17 hours. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International, the home of Camnet Television in Abex Hill, Kabulonga Road, Lusaka.
Dear Camnet TV viewers, wherever you are, in Mbala, Kaputa, Solwezi, you are in Kasempa, Livingstone, Chipata, I want you to know, don't miss this conference. I promise you. All the people that have believed my wife and I, by attending the conferences that we have done, they will never be the same. They will attest. As a matter of fact, Sokoni, I'm having people saying, Pastor, when are we starting to pay? I'm coming with 5.
That's right.
I want to bring my group.
Yes.
It is just awesome. But before we go there, I want my son, because when there is no money in society, and when there is too much money, fraud,
Happens.
you can't run away from it.
Pastor,
Can you say something about fraud, or show the people on TV, whatever? Say something before we open the lines to the people.
I hope that the director can show the corporate fraud detection and prevention write-up. We are running, there's a lot of things that are happening in this country. Because there's no money, people are scheming schemes on how to steal from companies.
Really?
In corporate, there are cartels, Pastor. People are swindling companies using the procurement systems, using different systems. And this is why, to help companies, we've come up with a training called Corporate Fraud Detection, Prevention, and Investigation.
Yeah.
This corporate fraud detection and prevention is really looking into helping companies in terms of how they can actually prevent fraud in the company. People are desperate right now, and they dupe you in different ways. For example, Pastor, never sign a check when you are busy running and someone runs to you, say, please sign, please sign. It's against the rules. If you are busy, never sign for money. And never, they use your passwords, they try to use, never allow yourself to be duped. So this corporate fraud brings out to the
So this will be a conference, right?
It's a conference.
Corporate, please bring it, Mr. Director. And the Camnet TV viewers, you are covered. It's from the 24th of June to the 25th of June at Twangale Park in Lusaka. And this is corporate fraud detection and prevention. Yes, son, say something about it.
So this, we are going to be training individuals and companies in terms of how to detect fraud and how to detect fraudulent people in the company, and helping them to see the loopholes that people use in the companies to steal.
Thank you, Mr. Director.
Yeah. How people go under behind the scene using documentation and duplicating things, playing around with the documentation to actually steal from companies. And you are working in this company, why are you stealing? And some people have been perpetually stealing. So we're going to teach people also how to do investigations, how to go into the company, do a forensic investigation to find the people that have actually stolen money or who are perpetuating a fraud.
Mr. Director, give me the phone for KSM, the one where there is even the information, the email. I want Camnet TV viewers to be protected. This is not just another channel. KSM Group 096 0966 750071 info@ksm.co.zm. Please, Zambians, keep that number, keep that group. You were born for greatness, and I want you to do more than you are doing. Thank you, Mr. Director. Mr. Director, please open up the lines. Let the people ask questions. If they have to ask questions, let them send messages. Let them tell us where they are calling from. And may God bless this nation. Before we pick up the phone, Sokoni.
Yes, Dad.
I know you are not an economist.
No.
But do you think Zambia's economy can bounce back to a stronger economy?
I believe in my nation. I believe in Zambia. And I believe that this is a great country with great resources, God-given. And I think that Zambia is going to bounce back into a great country again in terms of the economy. And I think it's just a question of management. We need to actually manage this economy in a very proper way. Understand? I sometimes wonder why we cannot open our corridor with Congo. That Congo has got 80 million people just right here in Congo.
Can you imagine?
Who can consume all the agricultural products that we are having. I'm wondering why we can't do that.
Just one country.
They use dollar. They pay using dollar. If we open that corridor, in that business, we have to start trading with Congo alone. What COMESA, they put us together. Congo can actually
Consume.
So if we have to replay our country, and I'm happy that, Pastor, the government has made a decision to buy gold. A country that has got no reserves is not a country. A company without reserves is not a company. A family without reserves is not a family. You cannot survive. So I'm happy that this nation has taken the right direction to now buy gold and keep the gold, because we just get it there and we are doing the right thing. And I think we are just on the road to actually make it. Do not worry about the escalation of the quarter. You do not worry about that. I would love to believe that with the right management of the economy, we will bounce back, we will survive it. This is a great nation.
You know, one of the things that the economist says, Sukuni, is that when a country doesn't have enough money, it's because the citizens themselves, they don't have enough money, because the government doesn't have a broader base where to tax from.
That's right.
You know, so would you agree with that notion?
I do agree with you, but again, overtaxing the people.
Let's pick up this phone call first. Hello, who is calling? Hello.
I'm Costa Lunana.
You are who?
I'm Costa Lunana calling from Mwinilunga.
Paul from Mwinilunga. Please remove the volume and let's just concentrate. Lower the volume on your TV so that when I ask, you answer like that. Yes, Paul?
Yes. Yes. With me, I'm very much attached when it comes to issues of entrepreneurship versus our education. Like last week, I was also on the air trying to contribute on entrepreneurship versus our education. I'm encouraged by Dr. Kelvin Kuno.
Sokoni.
Government and his own achievement.
Yeah.
It's really true when I compare our education system in Zambia. Sometimes I can say, if we get a Nigerian man, a Ghanaian, a Congolese, a Zambian, we go overseas. Upon arrival at the airport, a Zambian person will sleep on an empty stomach because of his nature of education.
Yeah.
But not these guys from the four countries. Because our education in our country has been there to enable the Zambian child, the Zambian citizen to earn money, not to make money. There is a difference between earning money and making money. It's a high time we needed the type of education that will enable our citizens to start making money.
That's right.
Then the other thing I want also to allude to is over the training that you offer in your consultant, the program. How I feel we can scale it up to having a survey of the job vacancies for our children, our citizens. I hope our training should be according to the needs.
Yes.
Because if you train people for jobless issues, then it will be meaningless to our citizens. I know the training in our education which is going there is just to train people and to imagine people with the chance to some of the jobs just by chance. But I feel the education, the training should be in collaboration with the need what people need in our country.
Thank you, Paul.
Hence, the education, even in our country, they are just to identify these children, these learners, with their desires, as you said, their talent. The education is supposed just to provoke, but not just to equip, to divert people, their natural talent, to become something else. So sometimes I'm not trying to be realistic, with the way people are made and the way we are educating our people. Even for agriculture, that's what we are talking about, which is a key point in our country. Our people need the training, really.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I'm foreseeing a situation whereby Zambia will start producing agricultural laborers who may not sell their produce at a favorable price, like the way it's even happening. Zambians labor to produce their products with maybe high input levels. But these people from neighboring countries, they come and they get the items at a lower price. So now making us to be like agricultural laborers. It reminds me, was it yesterday or the other day when Dr. Abazoka was on the media? He articulated something like the only problem in our country, it may not really be like the economical issue, but also these companies are trying to pay their prices in dollars. But as Zambians, we have remained in the quarters. So our friends from neighboring countries, they come and buy commodities in the quarters, in our currency, but they go into their countries, they sell in the dollars, and they get a lot of money. So we needed also this education whereby even our farmers, our people, with the services, the produce that we are producing, we started thinking, we need that knowledge so that we can also sell our products at favorable prices. Likely, there's been a misunderstanding when the people talk about entrepreneurship in the past. People feel entrepreneurship is the carpentry, it's bricklaying, it's tailoring. That's the way people talk about. But when you look at the characteristics of entrepreneurship, it's innovation, creativity, new ways of thinking, new systems, and so on. That's entrepreneurship. Even you as a pastor that you are speaking, you need entrepreneurship.
Thank you.
Because you need this new way, new system.
Sorry, Paul. Thank you so much for your contributions. You've heard his contribution.
Yes, Dad, I cannot agree with him more. And I wonder, Dad, how come a white farmer would walk into a showroom and just point, give me that van, buys cash right there? Where are our farmers? This is in the same soil, same place, and he's making enough money to go and buy a car in a showroom, and we can't. It's a mindset. We need to change our mindset. Where are those big farmers? We had Constant Chilala, who was doing extremely well. And I hope that many people could have risen to that level, could rise to that level, where you can actually become a big farmer and move. This country has got everything. God has given us the minerals, the soil, and the land. Why can't we go and buy a car straight from the showroom?
It's like Paul said. Paul was saying that we need education.
Yes.
Even in agriculture, Sani,
yes,
people need to be educated. What my wife and I are hearing, sitting around these professors that are associated with Cabinet,
yes, Dad.
Sani, you would say, Zambia, what case is it in this nation? You know, you feel like the whole nation is cursed because you have people who are brainy, people who can turn the economy around, but people keep on going in circles, and most of them are just going into capitalism. Let's pick up this call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and where you calling us from?
My name is George. I'm calling in Lusaka.
You are George?
John.
John from within Lusaka.
Yes.
Please go ahead and speak.
Okay. I wanted to find out from the panelists. You do the capital raising? That's the first question.
Do you?
Capital
Do
raising.
the capital raising?
Okay.
That's my first question. The second question is that I wanted you, right? I've been with the bank for the past and all my business have been using banking in this bank. But when I go there, this is the foreign bank. When I go there to try to fund, people ask me for the facility. They always say that your balance sheet is not matching the way you want. And this is the problem we have done.
Thank you.
A lot of entrepreneurs, they are depositing the money in this foreign bank.
Yeah.
But in return, they are not getting anything from this bank in terms of services. And this is the same money which they are giving to the outsider there. And which is a very big problem. There should be a very big policy whereby if the banks and banking, they are failing to support me in business, I have the right to sue them. That's why now maybe we can help with the entrepreneurship.
Doctors.
A lot of entrepreneurship, they are borrowing from the microfinance on the higher interest rates. So it's like the people who are not putting the money in the banks, they are accessing this money. And the person who is selling in the street, he's selling candle, he goes to microfinance and he borrows at 80%. It's like I have a child. I tell the child, can you carry the glass? That me, I will carry 2.5 liters of water. So these are some of the problems we are facing in the city. I want to make an appointment one day and come and see the panelists and discuss with you some of the problems I've undergone. I've got almost 25 workers, but I'm researching them because I failed to sustain my business.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Let's be brief to allow other people to contribute, but you can go and see Dr. Sokoni. Mr. Director, just flash Dr. Sokoni's details before he answers the 3 questions. John, please call Dr. Sokoni on that number tomorrow, not tonight. Tomorrow, beginning tomorrow, just say that I saw this on Camnet and I need help. Don't chase all the 25 workers, you need them. Thank you. Sokoni, answer that.
Dad, I actually feel for him and feel for so many entrepreneurs. In those days when we were growing up, our parents would just go to a bank manager and give him a business proposal. On the basis of a business proposal, the bank manager will give you a loan. But nowadays, no bank can actually give you. So meaning, his cry is asking about capital raising and where can I find cheap loans that I can actually access for me to actually start a business or run a business. That's his cry. And I'm afraid to say that Zambia we do not have a vehicle, or meaning a financial vehicle that would actually give us at a lower rate, but easy amounts that we can actually start businesses. So it's tough, as he says.
Camnet is coming up with that.
Amen.
Watch it and give Camnet a chance.
Amen.
Yeah.
So banks are not now giving people the loans or trusting people to actually run their loans. And it's a two-sided coin. One side is that also individuals are delinquents. They actually, some people, when you give them money, they want to disappear. Case in point you see is what happened to Smart Center. Just went down because in terms of credit, people were borrowing and got everything and just disappeared. So the risk of giving out money is also very high. This is why banks are becoming difficult to actually give out loans. But this whole thing must come to normalcy. The economy must be managed in a way where we have to do proper business, and people must be given adequate funds to start businesses and trust them enough to actually borrow and repay. It's not everyone who's going to be delinquent, and the interest rates are too high, like I was saying.
Yeah, but you remember, Sokoni, when we started building this church,
yes.
How many banks, you were church administrator,
yes.
How many banks did we go to?
Dad, a lot
Give
of
us
banks,
money.
they were refusing.
They were refusing.
But we thank God for one bank that actually gave us
the money
to build this church.
Absolutely.
That's
now, here is the bank gives us this money, and they take us to court.
Imagine
3 times I appeared in court.
Imagine
Foreigners are disappearing with the money. I am in court. But when we were starting Camnet TV,
Yeah.
you remember I went asking for money?
Yes, I do remember.
We want to start a TV station. This TV station will be a blessing. What John is saying,
Yes.
bring the collateral.
Yes.
If I've got the collateral, I've got the money, can I go to the bank?
Dad, I was with one company just last week. They are asking our company to be in the in-between. They are now saying that we don't want to give credit to these particular people. We want them to come through your company where we give them these goods. Your company should give as assurance, surety. And we want them to get what is called bank guarantee from the bank. In case they default, the bank pays us. So this, because the company was being duped, it gave some people some loans, and people just disappeared. They were selling these products, and people just disappeared. So I think it's a two-way side. Those that are borrowing, can we please make sure that we
Be responsible
enough to actually, pay back, so that other people can actually get, even yourself can get in future. But also banks and the financiers, please bring down your risk profile. They do what is called risk profiling. Bring it back, bring down, and profile people properly. And do not label everyone in one basket.
Can you imagine?
And think that some people cannot actually do business. Look at some brilliant ideas. Innovation. People have come up with brilliant innovation, Dad, where if you implement it, just money is the difference. And some people still, maybe I should address also something else. Some people steal people's innovation. These companies, you come up with an idea, Dad. You take it to a financial, I want you to do ABCD. Tomorrow you see the same idea implemented.
Oh.
So now people, here's an entrepreneur who has been working on a big idea and thinking that the financial is going to financial. People get the idea, run away with it, change it, and start using it.
They are
which
like
is very wrong.
some officers in the Ministry of Lands and the council. You find the land. And you go there and say, I found the land. They come and survey. Tomorrow, the same officer has gotten this world.
Mindset, that. We
Yeah.
need to change our mindset. And money gotten quickly, it will never take you anywhere.
No.
Let us make money in a very normal way. And God is going to bless us all.
Sunny, there is this idea of who are these? The people who deal in real estate.
Yes.
Pastor Chiluba, you want land or you want...
Reuters, yes.
You go pay. There is a scam now that has come. They are running away with money to say the money you paid, the owner died.
Really?
Yes. This is happening in Zambia.
Wow.
I need this house or rent. You pay. Story after story. The owner has died.
I've heard of houses and plots being sold to many people.
I'm telling you.
Everyone else has been paying, and there's confusion. So in Lusaka, land has finished, I'm told. But there are these scammers that are coming in to steal. So we need to have morals.
That's why they sold that Chilenje graveyard. You heard?
I didn't hear that.
They sold it to a Chinese.
So I was waiting for it to have 100 years to finish that. You mean they've given it already?
No, some guys took the Chinese there. It was in the press.
Oh, and showed him the land.
This is the land. And they got the money. The guys disappeared. You know? Oh, yeah.
That's very sad.
So the country where we've gone, I fear. And but my concern is, like you said, Sukone, we need to be hands-on to
That's
start
right.
something. It may be small, but it will grow.
But talking about what you're talking about, land, Dad, I don't know your views about selling land to foreigners. We've got very little land.
I've been against that.
I don't ascribe to the idea
I
of
have
selling
told
land. We
the
should not sell
minister,
land.
The then Minister, Madam Jeannie Kapata, and everyone who goes
We
there,
are making a big mistake.
you can't sell land.
We shouldn't sell land. Even if you tell me, no, this is just 99 years, that 99 years is important.
You'll be dead. And give us a call. Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pastor Daddy.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Alex.
Alex, have you got a question for Dr. Sokoni, or where are you calling from? Lusaka or where?
I know I'm calling from Chambish, Copperbelt.
Chambishi. You have a question for Dr. Sokoni?
Yes, I have.
Please go ahead and ask him.
Yes, Doctor, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. Doctor, I've registered a company, a construction company. Yes, now my question is, do you find jobs for us working into construction? And the other question is that, or do you market fee for us working construction?
Okay.
Yes, that's all.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Dr. Sokoni.
Alex, thank you so much, and I want to congratulate you for starting your own company. Please don't give up. That's the way to go. We do not find jobs for construction people, meaning for people who are running companies. We don't. We just find jobs for people to work in construction companies. But what we can actually do is we can help you. We can sit down and help you in ways on how you can actually advertise your company in terms of winning those tenders, in terms of coming up with tender documents, and so that you can win some of these contracts. And for you to actually have access to certain areas that people don't even have, that they don't know that actually you can find the tenders in these particular areas. So you start your company very well, and the only assistance I can also give you is to how to employ those employees under you so that you are not in trouble. The kind of contracts we should give them and the kind of management we should actually provide for them so that the Lord does not visit you when you make mistakes. So don't make mistakes by consulting us. The other gentleman who said, I want also in this same breath, want to answer the gentleman who said, I want to terminate my 25 employees.
That was John.
Yeah, John, don't do that. Don't take a move. Please call me. Let me help you before you take any action. You don't even have to terminate contracts of those employees because, you know, there's a high price sometimes when you just take a move of terminating employees anyhow like that. There's a lot of payments you have to make, gratuity and all this, you know, severance pay. You have to take a proper step. So call me. I advise you on how to actually go about it.
Thank you, Sokoni. Mr. Director, please give us the text messages. We have to read messages back to back. Thank you, Pastor Chiluba, for bringing Dr. Sokoni. What process goes on immediately once you submit a CV to your recruitment agency? When do you contact an individual? Immediately you finish your process. I will be submitting my CV first thing tomorrow to the email address you showed us on TV. Thank you again for such valuable information to the nation. This is Noble from Kapili Mposhi. There are questions there for you, Dr. Sokoni.
Thank you, Noble. So the process is simple. So the only thing that you have to do is send us...
Let him answer the question, Mr. Director.
So you send us your CV, and for the viewers, in fact, where to send your CV is to jobs@ksm.co.zm.
Do you have it there?
I don't have it, but just remove info, put jobs, the same email. If
the same email. That's instead
right.
of info at
yes,
KSM.
Just go to jobs@ksm. Same
Okay.
email address.
Okay.
So when you send that email to jobs@ksm.co.zm, it goes to all of us in the company, the consultants that are looking at that. So the process is that it comes in, and when your CV comes in, we start matching your CV with the jobs that are available. If you're one of them that actually are required for that job, we actually shortlist you for the job. In some cases, our team are going to call you. They'll interview you in what we call a pre-interview. So they will interview you and advise you how to handle the interview. Thereafter, they will put you in front of the panel of the client, a client being the employer in this particular case. So yes, sir, you can actually send your CV to us, and we are going to look at it.
And after that, you also train them how to prepare for interviews.
Yes, we train you on how to handle the interview and how to present yourself. But remember, you are now our client, so we want you to come out to be the best, so we'll prepare you for the interview as well.
Mr. Director, please give us the details. Info at,
Jobs
I almost
at KSM.
said the cabinet. This is what you are saying.
Yes.
Info at ksm.co.zm.
That's right.
Now, for those looking for jobs, they just remove info.
That's right. And
They
put
put jobs at KSM.
That's right.
I'm doing this for the sake of your cousins in Lundazi.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dad.
Give us the text messages back to back, Mr. Director. Hello, Pastor. I would like to ask if there will be charges for the training that will take place at Twangale.
Yes, there are charges. The charges are 4,500 kwacha per person attending that training. It's a 2-day training, and very qualified people are coming to actually train you.
4,500. This is a corporate conference, and you should be there. Amazing enough, I want you to know that people book for this man to address them. Go there and make it a point. Another text messages, Mr. Director. Good evening, Pastor and my brother. I totally agree with Dr. Sokoni said about farming entrepreneurship and also having education, of which at the end of the day, I became an employer because of my skill of making money instead of being unemployed and earning money. Thank you. This is from Emaron Dube in Lusaka.
Thank you, Mr.
Have
Dube.
you heard that testimony?
Thank you, Mr. Dube.
Good evening, Pastor, and our guest, of course, Dr. Sokoni. Thank you so much for the information about our human resources in our country. I would like to agree on the point of graduates not giving their bosses a proper finished report, and this has been disturbing me on the quality of people we are. What is your advice to help such people if you are the supervisor and also as an employee? May God bless you. May God bless you, and Kelvin, continue supporting Camnet TV. That's the source of your blessing. This is Brother Mvula. Have you heard the question? What advice would you help?
My advice to you is when your subordinate is playing those tactics.
Wait, Mr. Director, yeah?
If your subordinate is playing those tactics, when they give you a report, don't allow them to go. Ask them to come and present the report to you. And when they present the report to you, you tell them to correct it and give them time. They don't have to go home.
Yeah.
The office has got the electricity. People can work at work until the report is done. And that's how I've been curing it. So I don't allow them to send and then they go. I'll tell them, come and present the report. When they're presenting the report, I'll make my changes and ask them to go and make the changes instead of me doing it.
And also, one of the things, Sunny, that your company is involved in is to train people how to write reports, isn't it?
That's right. So business reports, business writing, presentation skills, but also, you see, God has got grace upon everyone else. Some people have been appointed as directors, but presentation skills is a problem. In fact, there's a training that we were trained by BBC. I was given an opportunity by Barclays Bank. We were taking Hard Talk BBC. They trained us in terms of how to handle media. So directors and CEOs need to go through what we call media training. And one of the people in one of the companies I worked in, he was a director. He didn't know how to handle media. So busy, they are trying to talk to him, and he was shivering. And it was tough. It was tough, but he's a director. So please, don't die alone. We are here to assist. We'll take you through what we call media training. We'll help you to handle the stage fright. We'll help you to handle the presentation. Some people just scared even to stand in front of people. You see, it's a different case when you're standing in front of 700 people, the eyes looking at you, you feel jittery. Everyone feels this thing at first, but at the end you are okay. So we train you in terms of how to handle yourself as a director, to be an effective presenter. Yeah.
I hope other people are watching from different medias, even as television companies. We must know how to write reports. We'll go to Sokoni. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello, good evening. Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm Madam Pimpa Katwaya from Kakue.
Madam who?
Pimpa Katwaya.
Kafwaya.
Katwaya.
Kafwaya, yes?
Katwaya, yes. One of the participants who attended the agribusiness that took place last month.
Did you enjoy it, madam?
I enjoyed it so much.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and I intend to start actually in Kakue next month.
Wonderful. Are you coming for the October one?
This one I'm not very ready, but I'm just preparing to go and start farming.
You are now going to put things into practice. Madam Kaswa, please speak to the nation, and if you have a question for Dr. Sokoni.
Yes, I've got a question for Dr. Sokoni. Yes, he talked about assisting people who are looking for jobs.
Yes.
So how does one go about getting a job? From what he has been discussing with you.
This is what he said. Just send your CV. Is it CV?
That's right.
To
send
jobs.
your CV. Send your CV to jobs@ksm.co.zm or download our app. It's called Recruiter KSM. Just type on Google Play Store, just type Recruiter KSM. Download that app and you're going to see a lot of jobs there. And yours is just to apply.
Recruiter KSM?
Yes, Recruiter KSM.
At KSM.
So there's an app, so you're going to see that app and it has got a lot of jobs.
Recruiter KSM.
Just that. No.
Recruiter.
It's an app.
It's an app.
So first of all, send your CV to jobs@ksm.co.zm. After you do that, then go to Google Play Store on your phone and download our app, and that app is Recruiter KSM.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right.
You were born for greatness, Madam Kaswai.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
No phone call now. Let's just pick up the text messages. Mr. Director, man of God, thank you for the great work you are doing. I am interested to attend the workshop, but may I know if certificates of attendance will be provided to Mr. Sokoni, since our current curriculum is for employment? What steps should I take to identify and nurture my children's skill towards entrepreneurship? Isaac, your cousin.
Thank you, Mr. Zulu. Yes, we provide certificates. These certificates that we offer, if you notice, you earn what we call CPD points. You are going to earn 16 CPD points. Now, what are CPD points? CPD points is that for you to get a degree, there's a period of time that you take. So for the time that we are training you, it accumulates. We are giving you points that accumulates almost into a degree. If you get a number of certificates, those certificates may be equivalent to. This is why when we are advertising a job, we say a degree or equivalent. So these CPD points are actually amounting to something very important. So we are going to give you a certificate with the CPD points written on them, and you can use our certificates actually to get jobs and find. Many people are actually using our certificates. We've been training for a long time. So feel free to come and attend, and you'll be awarded a certificate at the end of the workshop.
It's on the 25th of June, 24th and 25th of June at Twangale.
That's right.
Twangale is in Makeni Road,
Makeni.
nearly like there.
Opposite Sandy's.
Opposite Sunday's creation. Give us some text messages, Mr. Director. Good evening, Pastor Chiluba and Dr. Sokoni. Pastor Chiluba, you are really doing a commendable job. May God richly bless you and the Camnet TV. Dr. Sokoni, kindly comment on expatriates that come into our country to do the job that can be done by Zambians. And also, why is it that Zambian and foreigner doing the same job, a foreigner is paid more than the Zambian? Please pick it up.
Effective 9th of May 2019, the law has been amended in Zambia. That now says that for you to recruit in a job, before you recruit a foreigner, you have to ensure that in Zambia there are no skills, there are no people with such skills. So first of all, look for Zambians who can do that job. And you have to convince the government that there's no Zambian who can do that job. So this is just 1 year, and I believe that maybe many people have not really come to know about it, but the inspectors will be going through companies to check this. That's number one. Number two, before, when a foreigner comes in, if by adventure a foreigner is given a job, the law now has been amended that there must be a Zambian understudy. So if you have a foreigner working in your company, they have to identify what is called an understudy. A person who's going to work with them and under them, who the foreigner will be training, that after 2 years of a work permit, it should take over the job.
Is that so?
Yes, this is the new law, and it's actually in the Employment Code Act number 3 of 2019. So this is what is obtaining right now. So meaning a foreigner can only work for 1 term, and he must be training you, and he must present they have to write a return that should go to Minister of Labor to inform Minister of Labor that the company must write to Minister of Labor that we've employed so many foreigners, and the following people by name: John Banda, John Zulu is actually an understanding Mr. Jingwan, and yeah, and that must be done.
Yeah.
And if it's not done, the law is going to pounce. And also,
so even that company can be reprimanded?
Yes. And on renewal of when they go to apply for a renewal of a permit at immigration, they will demand to see who did you train.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's a new law. So government is just about to move. It may be, government is not effective, it may not be efficient, but it's effective. It may not come quickly, but you'll see soon. A lot of companies are going to be visited by the government.
So, following up that question, Sokoni, then, what about those who have been working and they've been given 12 years contract, they are still working for companies? What is the law in place? Are we going to audit them?
First of all, there's a question to say, why are foreigners paid more than Zambians?
That's right. Yeah.
That question, let us deal with it. It is not a law, but it is just by practice that because a foreigner, coming here cannot stay in a compound, cannot stay, so we will find him a house, make him comfortable. That has been our practice all this time. But right now, the law again has been amended to say equal pay for equal work. It is in the Act. You can actually read for yourself in the Employment Code Act number 3 of 2019. It is in the Act that there's equal work for equal pay. If you're doing the same job, you should be paid the same salary. Whether you're a foreigner or you're a Zambian, same salary.
It's in the law now?
It's in the law. It's there. You can actually find it. And then your question that...
about the people who have been on contract for 25 years, 30 years, and they have the qualifications which a Zambian can do. What happens to them?
Okay, so a foreigner, all foreign employees are sitting on a work permit. Work permits are only for 2 years maximum. And there's no way that they can have so many years being on work permits. So like I said, now it has been curtailed. Work permits are only for 2 years. In these 2 years, the foreigner can come and showcase their skills, train Zambians, and then they can leave. And then the Zambian should actually be doing the job. But you as a Zambian as well, please, when you are sitting under other people, learn to learn the skills. Learn Learn the skills. Spend time. For example, I'm expecting now, Dad, that we are very good at making roads. I'm expecting.
Absolutely.
Because I was seeing a lot of Zambians doing the roads and just one person or few people, foreign people were showing. I believe we can now do our own roads.
Absolutely.
I hope we can do that.
Oh, Dr. Sokoni, I am so grateful, Sani, that you made time to come and educate the nation. I believe the nation has gotten something from Dr. Sokoni. And please, whatever you do, get in touch with Dr. Sokoni. My son here will get you out of trouble. If you are an employee or you are an employer, ignorance has no defense. You should run to him. Let's begin doing things that are civil, things that are legal. And he has offered his services there. And may the Lord bless your wife, Linda, and your children. This is your station, as you have seen.
Dad,
you began the news. You are not a foreigner to this station.
Dad, I'm so grateful. May I say thank you so much to Mom and you, Dad, for the opportunity you've given me. It's always an honor to actually sit under you, and I'm so blessed to be here. May God bless you. May God bless the nation of Zambia. It's a great country. It's a great nation. And whatever happens, God's children are going to remain victorious.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I thank you so much. Once again, keep watching Camnet TV. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel. Bye-bye.